Rights to Bob and Gary.
Well, Gary, lots of excitement over there in Sweden today. I'm delighted for Team Canada and Don Cherry.
Absolutely. You wish you were there?
Oh, I don't know. This is not bad either. Philadelphia leading here 3-1, and a must game for Quebec. I don't know if they can do it in the third period. Philadelphia looking good.
They look solid in their checking and their discipline. As we had said before, Bob, they had leads of 3-1, and then they got into those bad penalties. That period, they played a disciplined style of hockey. No nonsense, strictly business, and it showed. They broke up a lot of plays by the Nordiques at their own blue line.
And Bouchard has been so solid.
Oh, how you think back to that opening goal, though. What a letdown. But in that second period on the power play by the Flyers, he come up with about 2 excellent saves. You're going to see the Flyers work that puck around, looking for that open man. And the guy, Rick McLeish, will keep our eyes on him. He'll be to the right face-off circle, getting himself into position now, but still trying to find that open man. Now, as soon as it comes to McLeish, you'll let that wrist shot go right away, using the defenseman as a screen. Look at that save by Bouchard. Now, Nordique's unable to corral that rebound, and there comes Linsman. He may have had a little more time to get rid of that. Goes to his backhand, didn't really have much on it, but 2 good saves by Bouchard. Now, here's one, a 3-on-2 break by the Nordiques. And this is the time when it was not a real good play selection. The center iceman was going through the middle. That would have been a great opportunity for that right wing to slide back in the slot area. But on that one, Nordiques never even got a shot on that. And if the left winger couldn't find the slot man, he should have released a shot from the top of the circle. At least there might have been a rebound, Bob.
Okay, here comes the old thing again. You're down 2 goals. You have the third period coming up. You've got to win this game to prolong the series. But there's a danger of opening up.
Well, I don't think that the Flyers will open up. They're going to play a close checking game. They know what they have to do to beat the Nordiques. That stand up in that blue line, break up the plays. Now, the Nordiques, they don't have that strength up front to dig the puck out of the corners, but I think that's what they have to try and do, dump the puck in going after it.
The Stashneys, they've been checking them pretty well.
Well, they're right on top of them. The matchup that Quinn wanted was to have Bridgman's line, Gorance and Hill. Now, Gorance and Hill can skate. They can move pretty good. Hill against Stastny, Gorance against Richard playing the wing now, and Bridgman's a tough customer going against Stastny, but I think we're going to have a great third period.
All right, that's coming up shortly. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in a minute.
At Mutual Life, most of us learn about being a parent the same way you do, firsthand. So we understand your hopes for tomorrow, because we share them. And when you go to buy life insurance for yourself, we know who you're really thinking of, because we know what you know.
Life is a mutual affair.
Hey, no matter what we tell you, we carry. Whenever we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got the biggest names in sporting goods, but when we say Canadian Tire, you think we've got a huge selection of brand name tools and hardware, but we say Canadian Tire and... So now, after seeing all this, when I say Canadian Tire, what do you think? Now you got it.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
On this Canadian destroyer, about 250 men work as a team with some of the most advanced electronic equipment in the world, helping to keep Canada strong. If you've got what it takes, there may be a future for you in Maritime Command, full-time or part-time.
There's no life like it. There's no life like it. No, there's no life like it.
Ask us about you. You'll find us under Recruiting in the Yellow Pages.
It happens every morning. The new Braun Micron 2000 does it. Built to shave Braun clothes. Built to perform for perfectionists with a platinum-coated micro-thin foil. The Braun Micron 2000. Braun precision every morning. Enter the Braun Shaver Contest. First prize worth over $26,000. The Braun Shaver Contest. Look for details where Braun Shavers are sold.
Philadelphia Flyers 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 1. The shots on goal over 2 periods, 17 apiece. In that second period, Philadelphia outshooting the Nordiques 9-8. Nordiques outshot Philadelphia, therefore, in the first 9-8. There was no scoring in that second period. All the scoring in the first: Murray, Wilson, and Gorentz for Philadelphia, Fatorik for Quebec. And we're talking about the shots, Gary. Only 3 shots from the forwards for Quebec Nordiques in that second period. What's happening?
Well, I think that certainly tells a story, Bob. What a good job the Flyers did at checking those forwards. Stayed right with them. When they crisscrossed, they picked up their proper men. They didn't allow any trouble in their own zone. And the Nordiques have to apply some pressure against Rick St. Croix. Make them work. Get guys in front of them. Screen them. Anything to take his mind off of what's going on there. Just to take that concentration away from him.
Out of town, some more scores. Pretty good game going on down in New York tonight.
Well, the Rangers, they can do it. 10-3. The other night, you thought they'd romp tonight, but the Kings are playing them tough. Will this be Michel Bergeron's last coaching night? He doesn't want it to end. It's tough, though, when you lose the caliber of players that they've lost. Goulet, DuPont. Those are 2 guys.
Another big defenseman
that could really help them. But there's no stops barred now. The Nordiques will go right after the Flyers and press, try to get some shots. I don't think the Flyer defense have really been put to the test of strong forechecking, but the Nordiques, they better do it in this third period.
Well, the wingers for Philadelphia have been coming back, and giving the defenseman that big chance to stand up there. More especially keeping the sharpshooters for the Nordiques along the boards and the outside, forcing the bad angle shot. Marois got it to the line. Now the Nordiques have it go down the ice. Bathe will be back first, touches it, and icing is called against Quebec. But you're right, Gary. That first goal against Bouchard at 7 seconds of the first period had to shake him up badly.
Yes, it certainly did. You look at Frank Bathe. Flyers picked him up as a free agent in 77. Broke in with Detroit back in 75. He's a hitter, not the best puck carrier in the world, but the guy is really tough behind his blue line. That's the kind of guys you have to force and try to make mistakes. Get on him right away.
Holmgren gets the draw, but the Nordiques hop on it quickly, trying to move it out, and they get it across the line to center. Linsman waits for Holmgren to come onside, then shoots it in. Hoganson takes a look, goes behind the net with it. This is Marois, starting from this right side. 200 to the line. Fatorik is bodied away from the puck by Busnick. Hunter lost it in the center ice area. Cote got it back. Now Marois comes across center. Hooked a high one in. It bounces into the corner, and Cote centered it. A quick shot was wide to the Philadelphia net. Back for Linsman of the Flyers. Hitting the line, going in with Propp. The trailer pass, and Propp missed it with Hunter taking over. For Marois to Hoganson. Bridgman forechecking. Off the boards behind the net for Hunter. Nice clearing play, gets it up to Fatorik. From center, he shoots it in, and the Nordiques change as the play goes on. Nearing the second minute mark in the third period, 3-1 Philadelphia. Barber for Clark. He couldn't come up with it. The Nordiques nearly set it up on a break. It's called in the offside. From the Coliseum in Quebec City, this is Stanley Cup 81.
Almost ready, Davy.
I'm not dead. This cold.
Come on. Your mom just stocked up. There's medication to relieve sinus pressure, medication for congestion, even something for aches and fever.
Dristan? And what else?
Nothing else. Your mom says with Dristan, you shouldn't take another thing.
Dristan, a lot going for you.
She looks a lot better. And you too, Davy.
Thanks to Dristan and Mom.
They played a minute and 32 seconds of the third period. Philadelphia 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 1. Bridgman up for Bobby Clark, coming in with Barber on the left side. That's Clark near the line. Set it up for Barber. Barber from Knocked in on the boards by Peter Stastny. Now Clark leaves it for Murray. Murray gets in close. Bridgman out near the blue line to Clark. Bobby Clark at a bad angle, doesn't shoot it and cannot. He's spun around. And Anton Stastny missed that long pass. Barber again with Bridgman. Clark goes in front of the net. Barber took the shot. That stop. It goes bouncing in behind the net to the far side. Clark went in after it. But Norwood takes it back to the net. Now he leaves it. And Tardif comes away. Tardif gets away from Clark to center. Tardif up over the Philadelphia line. And finally, they knock it away from him. The Nordiques have to come back to regroup. Peter Stastny dropped it. And Tardif again circles back to his own zone. Van's getting a little restless as Hoganson played it up, and it goes right back inside the Quebec line. Hoganson has to come back. Now a pass is fed over here to Marois, to Hoganson. Here he is hitting the line, up with Hunter. Hunter gets near the Philadelphia line. It's knocked away by Busnick. Out across. And then back inside the Philadelphia line, and that will be offside.
Well, the Flyers are still hanging onto that blue line, not allowing the Nordiques to cross over. You know, it's surprising, Bob, that the Nordiques wouldn't use those lively boards. You know, that pass into the corner, have the wingers at full speed, and, you know, a lot of times you can beat a defenseman by using that play, but they just don't do that.
Tell you mentioned lively boards. We've seen some crazy hops off the boards and behind either net tonight.
But you get a good bounce if that centerman throws the puck in the opposite corner and have that winger at full speed. He can make contact and get that thing.
Lacroix was turned around. Here's Richard. There's going to be a penalty. Philadelphia hooking penalty coming up. Lacroix was spun around, sent flying. And Faith, I think it's going off. There he is.
Well, you never get a better opportunity than this.
3:11 in this third period.
On Frank Bailey was beat. So he hauled right the hook there, and Frank Bailey will be in the penalty box. That was Lacroix going in over the blue line. The only goal tonight by the Nordiques was scored by Patoric on the power play.
And that was at 6:17 of the opening period. All the scoring in this game in the first 20 minutes. 3 for Philadelphia, 1 for Quebec, and now Bathe of the Flyers is off for hooking. Wilson will try to clear it down. He does. Gets it ahead for Gorentz. His shot. That was stopped by Bouchard. Gorentz again. Fired it in back of the net, and Patoric waits now for Peter Stastny to his left. Comes to Norwood this way. Now to Stastny. Not a good pass on his skate. And Gorentz picked it up for Philadelphia to Murray to Wilson. Wilson shooting it down for the Flyers.
Now, they're not very well organized, the Nordiques. So very important to have that first good pass coming to your own zone. That sets the whole line away.
Turning around at the blue line, Norwood, Tote. He might have some room. Does. Gets up near the Philadelphia line. Tote goes in. His low shot wide. Norwood shoots it in back of the net. Murray looked as if he'd slap it the other way. He didn't. He fooled everybody back there. And then the Flyers get it up to center ice. Patoric's pass. Peter Stastny back to Patoric. Robbie Patoric coming down on this side of Peter Stastny. Going in. Across the line. He cuts for the net. Great speed. Broke in front and then lost control of it in the crease. And Bridgman into the center ice area, ragging it with 40 seconds left in the penalty to Bathe. Wilson again shoots it into the Quebec zone. You know, they haven't had a shot in this period, the Quebec Nordiques, so far. Here's Bobby Clark intercepting. He shoots it into the corner. Tardif went after it, and Patoric brings it up. Left it in front of the net for Tardif. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Bathe of Philadelphia. And Tardif was stopped by Clark. Clark couldn't clear it on the first try, and he stays with it. And down he gets it to center ice. Norwood for Quebec. Into the middle. This is Richard. He left it there. And now the penalty is over. Philadelphia at full strength. Philadelphia 3 and Quebec Nordiques 1, nearing the 6-minute mark of the third period. Holmgren stopping it inside his own line. Richard carries on against Busnick. Richard lost his stick. The Nordiques in control, back of the net. Hunter looks for it. Now he comes in to help. Tardif jabbing at it, but they hold it with their skates. Little pushing and shoving back there. I guess more penalties coming up now. Not too serious so far. Players fell right away. Set Holmgren down there with Hunter.
Well, Holmgren had the puck against the boards, and Hunter was jabbing his stick, trying to break it free, not allow Holmgren to hold it for the face-off. I don't think much developed there. Bruce Hood called the play right away.
Maybe no penalties. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Coliseum in Quebec City.
About this time every year, my partner and I head out on our annual cattle drive. Used to get pretty rugged, but now we got this new Ford club wagon. Told my partner about the club because of its strong body-on-frame construction, twin I-beam front suspension, and very good mileage. But heck, what's a cattle drive without stereo and captain's chairs, huh? Of course, we'll also take along our Ford Supervan. The extra load length really helps on a cattle drive.
Cattle drive?
Well, she'd hate a cattle car.
See your Ford or Mercury dealer.
Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer and Dave Hodge here at the Coliseum in Quebec City. Rather mild affair down behind the Philadelphia net. No penalties handed out. Stastny, and Tardif for Quebec. Holmgren to the line. It's stopped near center, and Marois comes from the Quebec blue line. Across center, he shoots it in. St. Croix out of the net to stop it for Bathe. Bathe was slow in moving it ahead. Then when he did, it was from the glove. The net's called back.
You know, Coach Bergeron, he's using the Stastny just about in every other shift now. First with Tardif, then with Richard. It's just amazing the stamina that those two guys have.
Well, this is it, Gary. It's 14:05 left in the third period. It's now or never for the Quebec Nordiques. They've had a good year, especially the last half of the season. They were marvelous. They came out of nowhere, very successful, moved up the ladder. Here they are in the preliminary round against the Philadelphia Flyers.
Well, they do play an exciting brand of hockey, and it just goes to show you what good checking will do to, a team that likes to carry that puck, skate with it, and make those plays. The Flyers have shut them down so far.
And they cut it back to Richard. His weak shot is stopped easily by Wilson. Lacroix has to hustle back. Marois got in behind him as Lacroix had missed it, and here's Marois coming out. A pass to Hunter. He tipped it near center, or did he? Goes all the way down the ice, and icing called against Quebec. I guess Hunter is good bait in there, Gary.
I like the spunk of that kid. I mean, he plays. He comes to play. And you know, the rest of the players, they seem to respond to him. Hunter's name always comes up as a real leader of this hockey club. And he was racing down there trying to save that icing call for the Nordiques.
They want to get at Hunter, no question about that, but the officials are in there quickly, and they manage to cool them off. This is Hockey Night in Canada from the Coliseum in Quebec City.
It takes calm, unhurried patience to brew Bradol, so take the time to appreciate it. Bradol from Molson. Take the time.
Okay, penalties have been handed out this time. Hunter of Quebec and Erickson of Philadelphia.
You know, when you look at Hunter, who is in his rookie season in the National Hockey League, he reminds you a lot of Bobby Clark when Clark first came to the Flyers. Just all-out effort. And there comes Erickson after the collision against the boards. But he was the 6th best Nordique in scoring with 64 points and played in every single game.
So now they're 5 aside with 13:45 remaining in the third period. These penalties coming at 6:15. Roughing penalties. And Barber in back of the net. From the corner, Barber looking around. Gets it out near the line. It goes by Wilson down the ice. Patoric going in to watch Wilson. Murray's pass to Clark. Barber with him. Barber couldn't hold it. Rochefort back in his own zone for Hoganson. He gets it up across the line. It's all Philadelphia. They're in complete control.
Well, it's very difficult to make plays when as soon as you touch the puck, there's a red or orange shirt right on top of you, and that's what the Flyers have done tonight and been very successful.
This is Barber now forechecking with Bobby Clark, who lost his stick, but Barber holds it on the boards with a skate. He was being checked by Hoganson, and they get a whistle. A minute and 22 seconds left in the penalties. 13:06 in the third period.
Well, there's a guy that has multi-talent, Bill Barber. 9th season now with playoff action. He's a leading scorer this year with 43 goals. And spread that out. 21 goals. Spectrum, 22 on the road. So this goes to show you that Barber plays well both on home and on the road.
It is Eriksson, by the way, of Philadelphia in the penalty box. And Hunter of Quebec. 3-1. Philadelphia leading. And Lacroix dumped it back of the net for Marois. Up to Peter Stastny. He rolled it the other way. Now across the line, Lacroix comes in for Quebec, driving for the net. Again, kept on the outside of the pass. Hopping over Marois' stick, goes back into the Quebec zone. There's offside called, and that's disorganization.
Now that's or disorganization, frustration, but that's just the way it's been going for the Nordiques. Had a good rush going there, gained control of the Flyers zone, and then the puck just hopped over the stick of Marois. What an addition he's been to this hockey club. Number 22 can really skate, handle the puck so well. You know, there was a question about the young kids on this Nordique hockey club, but I guess that goes all out the door. They have handled themselves well. You talk about youngsters that have proven themselves. Just look at the Edmonton Oilers. They came of age in one playoff round.
And counting. Murray slapped that one from the blue line. Hoganson turns in the zone. Over to the far side, up to the line, and they get it as far as center, decide to backtrack it again, and Tardif lugs it a bit. Tardif is coming in with Patoric. Tardif to the corner, got by Wilson, still with it. That's Tardif centering it. It comes in the crease. And very calmly, Wilson plucked it out and cleared it to Gorentz. Shooting it in for Bridgman. Hoganson goes back. The goaltender, Bouchard, tried to clear it. Hoganson now starting away at the 8-minute mark of the third period. Hoganson going in. He gets across the line and stops with it. Shoots it into the corner. Bridgman went after it. Left it there. Now the Flyers organizing this play to center is Gorentz. He's in across the line. Dropped it out over the line. And it's called. And the offside is Bays carried it in. Again, some words, little pushing.
Tardif and Bridgman. Tardif had really made a good rush down the ice and then collided with Bridgman behind the net. And they have a few words. The Rangers have taken the lead in the third period with a chance to advance to the next round. St. Louis and Pittsburgh are tied. The Penguins trying to hang in there desperately.
And here, it's 3-1 Philadelphia, nearing the 9-minute mark of the third period. I'm Bob Cole with Gary Dornhofer and Dave Hodge. You're Michel Bergeron for a moment, Gary. What do? You're down 2, little less than 12 minutes remaining in regulation time.
Well, we had still talked, Bob, that they have to force or get some shots on St. Croix. That has not materialized in this third period. He has had an easy time of it. But now's the time to perhaps take a few chances, send 2 or 3 guys in there. You know, it depends. If the puck is shot in the corner and the Flyers have 2 men in the corner, perhaps send 3 in. But you have to have an advantage in manpower and make sure you come up with that puck. But it's been very noticeable that the Nordiques, when they shoot it in, have not been successful coming up with a puck in the corners.
Well, you said it earlier, and I think I alluded to it from the first period. The defensemen for Philadelphia have been keeping the forwards to the outside. Therefore, their only play into the zone has been able to get it back to the blue line, and most of the shots have been from the defensemen and from a long way out.
That's right, and you got to give the Flyers credit, because the Nordiques, after that 2-0 win, would have a lot of confidence. They felt that they could win tonight and go into Philadelphia in that 5th game.
With a score, Philadelphia 3 and Quebec 1. This is Stanley Cup 81.
There's a company here in Canada that makes an amazing product for your car's engine. It can improve your car's fuel efficiency, give you quicker starts, even help your car run better. And the cost of 4 is about the same as the price of an oil change. A revolutionary new device? No. It's a fresh set of Champion spark plugs. Think about it next time you're at the pumps. Champions can make a difference. Champion, the world's #1 seller.
Very sad news to pass along. The death today in Las Vegas. Joe Louis, former world heavyweight champion, died of a heart attack today in Las Vegas.
Probably the greatest of all time.
For my money, #1. Won the crown in 1937 from Jimmy Braddock, and went on to defend his crown many, many times. Joe Louis, dead of a heart attack in Las Vegas. Lacroix for the Quebec Nordiques coming out. Marois takes it to the blue line up to center. Tardif goes in, took the shot. See that crazy hop off the boards, Gary? Almost the same kind of situation at the 7-second mark in the first period when Bouchard was fooled. St. Croix was nearly fooled there. And the sticks go up again around the net.
Well, that's one thing about the goaltenders. You know, you have to be so alert. You don't always have to worry about shots from the wingers coming down the wing, but also when the puck comes off the boards. We saw a great example of that of Bouchard in the first 7 seconds when the puck beat him between the legs from that carom, and that time St. Croix was really fighting it. But we'll have penalties. Dale Hunter back in the box again, along with Paul Holmgren.
It's bad when you see the sticks go up. And that's what is happening again. High sticking penalties. Holmgren and Hunter. A little bit of woodwork and slashing penalties called. At 8:30 of this third period. So again, 5 aside.
You know, that could help the Nordiques playing 4 aside to get the 2 Stastnys out there. Give them a little more ice room.
Into the corner, Stastny centered it. That one nearly caught the far corner. Just missed. Fedoruk was tied up in the crease. Now Marois gets it back to his own line. The Nordiques organizing. Fedoruk missed that long pass from Lacroix. Wilson tried to push one down to Bridgman. He missed him with the pass. It'll be icing with Lacroix coming back. And 10:56 left to play in regulation time.
Now you look at Pierre Lacroix, 5th round pick in '79. We usually find him out in that power play all the time, the way he handles that puck. And he's just like another forward back there.
Richard is number 23. Couldn't get the draw. Back of the net, Murray for Philadelphia with Wilson. Bridgman. And Gorans are the penalty killers up front. That's Bridgman. Over on the boards against Richard. Staying with it. Now Richard gets loose. Coming out. A long pass stopped by Bathe. Anton Stastny couldn't get it. And the Nordiques have to come back. Lacroix around the net, nearing the halfway mark of this third period. Lacroix's pass stopped by Bobby Clark. He gets it ahead to Barber, and Barber is bumped by Marois. He got loose again to Bobby Clark. Back to Barber, and the pass was behind him. Anton Stastny coming out with Richard. Up over the Philadelphia line. The shot hit Bathe, and the defenseman just carries it to the corner and now starts away with it. Gets up to the line. Down the left wing he comes. Shoots it in across the line, and Hoganson has it for Quebec to Rochefort. He's beaten by Clark to Barber. The shot is grabbed by Bouchard, but Clark and Barber ever dangerous. There's Barber again. This time he loses it. And Rochefort goes back of the net. Turns. Can he get away from Clark? I doubt it. Barber comes up with it. Then he lost it. Hoganson getting out with Anton Stastny. Up to the right side and over the line. Tried to cut for the net. Wilson had him take. 9:20 left in the third period. Philadelphia 3 and Quebec Nordiques 1. Long pass by Holmgren. Went in wide. Cleared off the boards down the ice. Stastny coming in. Gets away from one check. Lost the puck though, as Eriksson took it away from him. Philadelphia flying in again as prop. Winding up. The shot, not a good one. Bounced off the boards, hopped in front of the net. Lacroix covered on Holmgren. Lindsman went in to help. Now Tardif. Tardif gets away from Lindsman. He'll have to do it again, and does. With a pass down the wing to Hunter. Lindsman coming back. Hunter falls. Tardif goes in, and they hold it on the boards and get a face-off in the Philadelphia zone. Hockey Night in Canada will continue in a moment.
Thank you. Come again.
One family bucket, please.
Excuse me, would you call yourself a frequent buyer of Kentucky Fried Chicken?
My family could eat the Colonel's chicken every night of the week.
I guess that would cost a bit.
Oh, I don't know. When you consider the price of food these days, Kentucky Fried Chicken's a really good buy. Oh, Mary, better give me a large coleslaw as well, please.
Say, you are a regular customer. Don't you ever buy any other chicken?
Oh, we've tried them all. But at our house, the only chicken's Kentucky Fried Chicken. There's nothing like it.
A startling statistic here in this third period. We have 12:20 gone.
No shots for the Nordiques in this period.
And only 2 for Philadelphia.
An interesting statistic also, Bob, that in the third period, in the 3 games, the Nordiques have only had 15 shots on net in the third period.
To center. This is Hill. He let one go, and that's a shot on. Dan Bouchard, no trouble, an easy save. Cote hitting Tardif at center ice. He's up over the line, tried to go in around Busnick and couldn't. Tardif now running into Busnick. Bathe was checked on the boards by Peter Stastny. And again, they get a whistle in the Philadelphia zone with 8:08 remaining.
Well, I've been impressed with Mark Tardif tonight. He has been the best of the forwards for the Nordiques. Handling that puck, he has tremendous speed. See Stastny, Peter Stastny, the older brother. And there is Tardif doing the forechecking. And in comes Peter Stastny to force the face-off. But again, you don't get the shots on net, you don't score any goals. It's simple as that. But what do they say in baseball, Bob? Good pitching does it to good hitting, and you're seeing an example of good checking, how it can just dominate a hockey game the way the Flyers have shut down the Nordiques in the last 2 periods.
Up to this point in the hockey game, 8:08 left of the third period. The total shots 20-17. Favor of Philadelphia. Not a lot of scoring chances in this game. Tight checking. Barber Playing it out to the line to Clark. Coming in with Bridgman. Bobby Clark up over the line, cuts along the blue line, dropped it back to Murray. Barber got in front. He took a shot. Bouchard gloved that and threw it back at the net. Richard for Quebec. Up to center. His pass hit Fatorik. Skates. Then Richard gets it back again. Hit up the blue line and sent flying. Hunter going over there. Barber took it away from him. Now Wilson slides it back to Murray. 7:30 left in the third period. This is Wilson up to center ice, and he shoots it in for Philadelphia. Bouchard, back of the net. One high on the glass, and Fatorik comes out. Fatorik against Buznik. Couldn't move it. Richard was covered up the line. And again. Hoganson spun around by Prop. Philadelphia in control of the center ice area. Buznik shoots it in for the Flyers. And the Quebec Nordiques now running out of time. Just 6:55 left in the third period. 3-1 is the score. Philadelphia leading. Hoganson's pass to Norwood. He gets it ahead to Tardif. Couldn't get by the linesman. And the Flyers play it up to the center ice area. Lacroix through the middle. This is Anton Stastny with Peter and Lacroix going in after it. St. Croix tried to play it out himself. Tardif takes it to the corner. Tardif away from Murray, centered it. And Stastny couldn't control it. Now Lacroix winding up. The shot was blocked, and it was cleared out over the line. Back in, and that's offside. Live from the Coliseum in Quebec City, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
An official apology from Canadian Tire.
Well, this isn't exactly official. I personally want to apologize for our name, Canadian Tire. That's no name for a store with a sporting goods department like mine. We sell fishing and camping equipment. You see any tires? Daiwa, Coleman, Cooper, do they sound like tire names? So please, accept my apology and remember my department. We have brand names and great prices. We have everything except the right name.
There's a lot more to Canadian Tire than tires.
Bob Cole and Gary Dornhofer, along with Dave Hodge, at the Coliseum in Quebec City. As Lacroix put a long shot in on the net, and that's the first one in this period for Quebec
from center ice.
From a long way out. Lacroix tipped in by Fatorik. Wilson slaps at it. It comes by Lacroix to center ice again. Rochefort ahead to Cote on the left side. And they have to back up to get organized. The Flyers doing a noble job checking.
You notice Flyers always have two men back, never giving the Nordiques, the wingers, open ice. They always have the guys covered, and that leaves two defensemen to handle the puck carrier. They've been very effective doing that.
Well, the Flyers are all back now, protecting that lead, and I suppose Philadelphia is probably one of the better teams in the league, Gary, in protecting a 2-goal lead.
Well, ever since day one in Philadelphia, the strategy has always been to make contact when you're checking. There's no easy way. The guys that stick check, they're going to be burned having goals scored against you, but you make contact, step in front of them. It's very difficult to skate over somebody, and that's always been the strategy of the Flyers.
When you're protecting a lead like this, a 2-goal lead with a little over 5 minutes left, it is imperative everybody has a certain job to do. Every man has to do that job.
Well, you're for a winger, when you lose possession and you're in the offensive zone, right away you say, where is my man? And you pick him up, and it's important you take him all the way to your net.
Buznik, back of the net for Philadelphia. On the boards, and it slides back inside the Quebec line.
Rob, we understand that the Rangers will advance. They defeated the LA Kings 6-3.
The New York Rangers over LA, and they're on to the quarterfinal. Peter Stastny trying to do something about Philadelphia advancing now with the Flyers leading 3-1. Only 5:08 left now.
There was a good example. You had Buznik, Clark, Barber all at that blue line. Everybody back. And just stop Stastny. There's no way that he's going to get through three players. And it's been a frustrating evening for the Nordiques.
There's the time remaining. Philadelphia leading by 2. They got a goal at 7 seconds. Murray in the first period. Then Fatorik tied it at 6:17. Wilson, the go-ahead at 7:39. And at 13:34, Gorentz. 3-1, all in the first period. It's been scoreless ever since, and now 5 minutes remaining. The time running down on the Quebec Nordiques for the 80-81 season, unless they can muster an attack and do something about it, and this is not the way to do it. Look at Bridgman hustling back. That's icing called against Quebec.
Well, sometimes, Bob, you know, you send your centerman or your winger out of the zone, the defenseman has the puck, you throw that long up-ice pass. Larry Robinson, one of the best at it. Dennis Potvin, what a series he had against the Leafs. You know, set his wingers and out of the zone many a time. Nordiques trying that, anything to get them with a few shots on net. But then it's very important when a winger comes out of the zone, either the winger has to come out with him or defenseman just pull out.
So let's see now. The Los Angeles Kings are eliminated. The Montreal Canadiens are eliminated. Toronto Maple Leafs are eliminated. The Vancouver Canucks are eliminated. Your turn.
Boston Bruins.
All right.
Just testing me. And it's a 3-3 tie still in Pittsburgh. St. Louis and Pittsburgh tied at 3.
And the Quebec Nordiques on the brink of it here in the Coliseum. And beautiful Quebec City, capital of La Belle Province. 4:45 remaining. With Tardif back of the net, Bridgman holding him along the boards. I guess, Gary, now that's what the Flyers will do. Stay close to everybody. Stop the play when they can.
Absolutely, and Pat Quinn is telling them, whatever you do, don't get caught. We don't need any more goals, but make sure we have those men back. But we still have to force the Nordiques. Don't give them time to set up and come out as a unit. Get on top of them. Always make contact.
I noticed their forecheckers, the Philadelphia forecheckers, now, Gary, are not going in quite as deep when Quebec starts to come out.
Well,
So
Bob, if the Nordiques have good possession, there's no sense sending 2 men in, or both of them get caught. That's when the wings are covered, and then just one man trying to do the checking.
everybody comes back. Clark on this face-off. Let's watch him. I don't know how he does it, but he does it most of the time. What's he got? Something like 90-95% going. We're not going to get a chance this time. Scampanella waves him out. Bridgman upended. Airwall goes back of the net. Hoganson played it up to the line. There's Clark checking his man. Here's Hunter breaking in. Scores! Hunter, an electrifying little hockey player, ripped that shot. What's that, the second shot of the period on St. Croix? He couldn't handle it.
That's been the first good scoring chance the Nordiques have had since the first period. And Hunter with his speed. There's that good pass going to Hunter, and he just breaks right past the defenseman, Terry Murray, and lets that shot go. Now, St. Croix got a piece of it, but it trickled home. And you know, sometimes from a goaltender, not getting any action may lose a little concentration. But the fans, they are applauding the Nordiques. Let's watch St. Croix get the piece of it, and it bounces by him in the net, and it is 3-2 with 4:25 left. And the Nordiques, even though they have been outplayed, have still got a chance.
Got a chance. I hope to tell you, listen to this crowd here in the Coliseum.
See now, Bob, all of a sudden, the fans have thrown stuff on the ice. The ushers have to come up and clean up the ice. Now, this stops the momentum of the Nordiques. It's the worst thing that could happen.
There's Hunter. A lot of coaches around the league would like to have a type like that, Hunter. Not very popular, I know it. Listen. Tardif gets an assist. 15:35 the time. Hoganson also gets an assist. But Hunter electrifying the crowd, and it's 3-2. Philadelphia.
Well, you were just pointing out, Gary, about don't let anybody get a break, and all of a sudden there's Hunter going down the left side. Mind you, he had great speed, and he jumped ahead of his man.
He got the perfect pass, and it just went by Terry Murray. See, Terry Murray was standing still. Hunter was in full stride. That's why he was able to beat him and let the shot go from the top of the circle. But probably St. Croix should have had that one, and perhaps not having any action this third period. A little shaky on that one. He got a piece of it, but it trickled in the net.
Only the second shot on goal.
You know, you ask goaltenders, they would rather face 8 to 10 shots up here rather not than have no shots at all.
Well, all right, Philadelphia now leading by just 1 goal on that sparkling effort by Hunter. And here's Tardif coming in again with Hunter. Tardif into the corner against Busnick. Bathe on the boards for Barber. Tipped down the ice. Might go on the net. No, just wide of the net. Icing called against Philadelphia. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Coliseum in Quebec City.
Special times like this are times to remember. So I take lots of pictures, and I depend on Duracell batteries.
Regular carbon batteries average less than 50 flash photos. Duracell batteries last longer to give you 200 flash photos or more.
Special moments come and go, but Duracell goes on and on.
Duracell. The copper top battery lasts longer
for lots more pictures.
3 minutes, 57 seconds remaining in regulation time. The Philadelphia Flyers 3 and the Quebec Nordiques 2. 3-1 after the first period. No scoring in the second. The Nordiques have scored here in the third. Stastny couldn't keep it in. Bridgman breaking out. He's with Barber. Bridgman got up over the line. Barber goes in front of the net. There's Bridgman in on the boards. Hoganson hit him. Barber comes in, and they get a whistle for a face-off in the Quebec zone. Well, Philadelphia, Gary, played that waiting game, trying to check everybody. It failed. Back to the drawing board. Now their strategy has to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Number one, you can't hang back and let the Nordiques come at you. So the Flyers have to do probably a better forward-checking job in the Nordique zone. And what's really important, you notice in the last play, Barber probably might have had a chance to center it out in front of the net, but he elected to hang on to it. If you're not 100% sure of your man getting it, freeze it in the corner. Worst that can happen is the faceoff.
Here we go. Murray shoots it back of the net. Comes over here. Prop keeping it in. Holmgren tried to center it. Anton Stastny couldn't get it out. Lacroix in back of his own net. Holmgren bumped him to the ice. Here's a drive by Prop. That hit the side of the net. Prop again. Shoots it around the net, and Rochefort for Quebec. Paciorek played it up through the middle in behind. Peter Stastny. 3 minutes, 5 seconds left in regulation time. 3-2, Philadelphia. Offside called at the Quebec blue line. Prop and Anton Stastny having words.
Well, you notice how the Flyers have picked up the tempo and forechecking, putting on a little more pressure against the Nordiques. 3:04, plenty of time. It's amazing how just 1 goal will pick up the tempo. Quebec looked hopeless, and all of a sudden they're right back in there.
Holmgren is on with Prop and Linsman against Hunter, Richard, and Tardif. This Hunter, Richard, and Tardif has been a pretty good line in this period. Not many great chances right directly on the net, but they lugged the puck inside the Philadelphia line pretty well. And Hunter, of course, got the goal. It made it 3-2. Here's Hunter again, going in. Great chance to rebound. They score. Richard.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Amazing. I'll tell you, they're going wild in the Coliseum here in Quebec City. Hunter and
picked up Richard. Holmgren was behind him, couldn't catch up. But the Flyer defense not staggered. That allowed Hunter to go right through the middle. St. Croix off balance, and Richard, who was not kicked, puts the puck in the net. And what a comeback by the Nordiques. Fantastic. Everybody skates by the puck, and Richard just puts it in the net. And the fans are hauling and screaming. They're standing up.
This is fantastic. It was so calm for a while in this third period with the Flyers leading 3-1 after the first period. Held it through the second and halfway through this third. Then all of a sudden, Hunter, a goal, and now this one, and look what's happened.
Are you ready for overtime?
Why not?
But again, you know, it was the speed of Dale Hunter and able to go right through the middle of the defense. That's why, you know, your defensemen, if they're on a horizontal plane, you know, you have to be staggered. If Hunter beats the first guy, then the second defenseman always has a crack at him. But look at that. He goes right through the middle. And then Richard, now he should have been picked up. That second man becomes so dangerous. Got the rebound, and we got a tie game.
Well, that was Murray trying to check on Richard, but Richard is not bad with the wheels. There's Pat Quinn. Rather dejected Pat Quinn now back there.
That other guy you saw was Jimmy Watson. He's out for the year, had a head back surgery. But the Flyers are just flabbergasted right now. Can't believe what has happened to them. There's your goal scorer, Jacques Richard.
17:08, the time of the tying goal for the Quebec Nordiques.
Well, when you score over 50 goals during the regular season, the guy becomes very dangerous and caps it off by giving the Nordiques a tie. And boy, what a break for them. They're right there now.
2:52 left. This is going to be nervous time. Bathe. Coming in for Philadelphia. Laid it in back of the net. Philadelphia digging for it. Stastny couldn't move it out. Bathe took a shot. Knocked down by Rochefort. Here's Hill intercepting. Hill had it knocked off his stick. Peter Stastny coming out with Fatorik and Anton Stastny. Dropped it to Anton Stastny to Fatorik. He couldn't center it. He fell. Hill takes it back to the net for the Philadelphia Flyers. Off the boards, it comes near the line. And the Flyers down to center. That pass hit Gorance. Shoots it in back of the net with 2 minutes left to play in regulation time. Score is tied at 3. Quebec fighting for their lives to stay alive in this preliminary round against Philadelphia Flyers. Gorance coming in. He was clipped along the boards by Rochefort. There's Hill centering it to Gorance. He couldn't do much. Now Bouchard hangs on to it. And it's called with 1:48 left to play in regulation time. Here's one man with pressure on. Daniel Bouchard. Down at the other end, of course, Rick St. Croix.
Both goaltenders. You know, the Nordiques have everything going for them right now. The momentum, the confidence, but, you know, sometimes you get over-eager. You're in that offensive zone and you forget to have that trailer back. It's important now the Nordiques, they don't get caught on that 3-on-2 against them.
Scoring play, Richard, 17:08 from Hunter and Lacroix. There's Bouchard. Here comes the face-off to the right of him. 1:48 left. It comes to Barber. Look out! Barber's backhand shot was blocked by Hoganson. Hunter couldn't get it out. Hoganson will with Tardif. At the line. Clark watching him. Marois for Hunter for Tardif. Here's Richard again. Richard shoots. St. Croix stopped that. Hunter went flying by in front of the goaltender and fell. And the play is called. 1:28 left.
Now, Bob, the face-offs become so very important, and every centerman, whenever he goes to that draw, he makes sure that the line and the defensive position are set up exactly the way he wants them. He's the captain out there, and if somebody isn't in position, it's very important that he directs them the way he wants them.
You know, Michel Bergeron has this team playing in an interesting way. It's almost obvious every game out. They wait, They're very patient. They take their time on power plays, whatever. Other than power plays, they will still not give it away and wait for that one great chance.
Well, actually, in the last 2 periods, it's only been about 3 shifts that have really done it for them. Hunter involved in both of them.
Hunter, I think, is waved out.
You know, up to that point, the Flyers had played a perfect game. I mean, they checked as well as anybody could check, and here they find themselves tied.
1:28 left in regulation time. Will we have overtime tonight? We'll know in a little while. Quebec shooting it back of the net, and Wilson for Clark. Bobby Clark tried to slap it out. Couldn't. But Barber takes it up to center ice. Bouchard fell. Got away from Bridgman as he did. Puck is fed back inside the Philadelphia line. Here comes Hunter and Bridgman. Hunter muscled him off the puck. Went back of the net and ran into Wilson. Can't believe this young Hunter. At the center, Clark tried to hit Barber. We have less than a minute remaining. In regulation time, Hoganson coming out. He has to stop, lost control. Now he's away. Got by Lindsman. Bobsledding in a crazy hop. And St. Croix had Fitz, but covered up. Philadelphia unnervingly sent it back down the ice. Icing called against the Philadelphia Flyers with 39 seconds remaining in regulation time. The score is tied at 3.
I couldn't believe the Flyers would ice that puck. You know, that's the last thing you want is a face-off in your own zone. Boy, that crazy hopper there by Hoganson had St. Croix beat. It just bounced into the corner, but had it been on net.
Anton Stastny with Hunter. Dale Hunter is number 32. Now that's Patorek now coming out. He'll take this face-off. On the left side. The left side of Patorek. That's Cote. Park at the line is Lacroix on this side. Rochefort on the other side. They fall on it right away. 37 seconds left. Patorek, number 38. There's Lindsman talking with him and the official. Set to go. Important face-off to the left of St. Croix. Here's Stastny. Gets it back near the line. They just barely keep it in. Bay lost it against Cote. Lesnick gets it back. Racing out for Philadelphia. 25 seconds left. 23 seconds left. Lindsman, 20 seconds left. Lindsman shooting. Oh, Mr. Man! That was a deflected shot, let me tell you. Bouchard had his arm been another 2 inches shorter. He would not have been able to get it. He was going the other way.
Bouchard, absolutely right, Bob. But watch this thing change direction on a deflection. No, we're not going to watch it, but Bouchard stuck out that glove hand and stretched as far as he could stretch.
Here it is.
Here it comes. And just got a piece of it.
Now, the important thing, he was moving to his right. And the puck was redirected far to his left.
All right, Bouch, you made up for the first one that you let in the 7-second mark. Fantastic anticipation and reaction.
17 seconds left. Philadelphia got the draw, and they keep it in. Murray slides it into the corner. Hunter will try to feed it down the ice. Not too smart with just 6 seconds left. Icing called against Quebec.
Well, watch for Bobby Clark to come out of this face-off.
No question. Here he comes. And Barber. So he'll be cocked behind Clark. Clark naturally will try to set him up. Well, Barber has that great shot.
Right, it's going to be time for one shot. I wouldn't be surprised to see McLeish, who is a left-hand shot, playing the right side and come from that position into the slot area for the wrist shot.
Okay, Clark, Gary, is going to back to his left or right or directly behind him. Barber is moving behind him now. Is that
right? He's going to go draw it to Barber.
Barber is ready. Clark is ready. It's dropped in. Clark kicked it back, but Hoganson was there. He tears it down the ice. Overtime, folks.
All right. Well, what a comeback by by the Nordiques. What a fantastic comeback. Hunter, though, really sparked that. Very disappointing for Rick St. Croix.
Well, you know, he has been sparking them all evening, even though he hasn't been able on any scoring play. But the way he's been hitting and forechecking and skating, and it's almost justice that he did get that break.
Absolutely, Bob, and it's very refreshing that a youngster can come in here and really play and perform and earn his pay. And now Hunter certainly exemplifies that, the way he's handled himself, not only tonight, but in the whole series and the whole year.
And a great play by Richard to even follow in behind that play that had been stopped in front. There was Richard for the rebound. Always smart.
Bob, a good example that not always is the puck carrier the most dangerous man. It seems that everybody's attracted to the puck carrier, and instead of watching that trailer. Richard, the trailer, we saw Holmgren coming behind, just not able to catch him, and perhaps Holmgren slowed down just a little bit, and that allowed Richard to come in there and pick up the rebound. But it was two shifts, and it was a tie ball game because the Nordiques only got 4 shots in that period.
Well, we had 4 goals in the first period, 3 of them by Philadelphia, and then no scoring at all in the second. And it looked like we were going to get through the third without any goals, Gary, didn't it? Oh. Until Hunter exploded.
Well, like we were saying, Bob, it was a perfect game for the Flyers. They were playing up to that point, but it just goes to show you, you know, you can't give up at any time. You just keep right on plugging until you finally get those breaks the Nordiques did.
So, regulation time. It's tied at 3, and here's Dave Hodge.
Rookie Dale Hunter at 15:35, and then his assist set up Jacques Richard's tying goal at 17:08. Perhaps the only thing the Flyers did short of perfection while they had that 3-1 lead was fail to increase it. They certainly held the Nordiques' chances to a minimum prior to the goal by Hunter, but the Flyers had their chances and didn't capitalize on them. So that keeps us here with an overtime period coming up. And we will have coming up Don Cherry's Coach's Corner overtime version, taped before the Team Canada coach left for Sweden. This is Stanley Cup 81 from the Coliseum in Quebec City.
Looking for proven value, technology,
and high fuel rating?
Look at the well-engineered, fully equipped, good-looking mid-size
Mercury Zephyr.
Check the standard equipment.
Rack and pinion steering, power front disc brake,
McPherson strut front suspension, steel-belted radial,
4-cylinder engine, 4-speed manual transmission,
5-passenger roominess, and much more.
And now Zephyr's gone one better with even more built-in value.
It's priced $1,000 less than a comparable Pontiac Phoenix.
Now at your Mercury dealers.
It's a quick, refreshing taste, so light, crystal clear. Canada's drinking 7-Up, 7-Up pages.
Hey, little brother, how'd you do that trick?
It's all in the step. I taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, sure. Feeling 7-Up, feeling 7-Up.
Don, one thing to remember about overtime is that it's not existed in the regular season. And for some players who are getting set to play this overtime, they've never played it, or they haven't played it in a few years. Therefore, does it become important for you to go into that room and say certain things to tell them, if nothing else, that this is something that they'd better be prepared for and they haven't had in a while?
Well, what I did was the playoffs. I went in and I left them alone. I never talked to them for about the first 8 minutes because they're tired. They've gone through, like you say, 80 games. They're into the playoffs now. They're fatigued, even mentally fatigued. If you leave them alone, it's very quiet in the rooms going into overtime. They're very quiet, like it's almost like death, I'll tell you. And you leave them alone and just go up to individual guys and tell individual guys, if you ever go in and try to whip them up, you're in deep trouble.
Okay, overtime games, recently anyway, have seemed to end rather quickly. And this is obviously because teams have tried to do that. You like that approach, to get it over with as fast as possible, win or lose quickly?
Well, this all started with Scotty Bowman, and I noticed it against us about 4 or 5 years ago. Sherrill started it too, but Bowman was the guy. What he would do is load up 2 lines, and he'd try to get it over. I noticed he was trying to get it over. In the old days, he used to go back 3 or 4 penalty. They go back into periods that go on at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not now. They try to get it over. We tell them, I told the teams, listen, we're either going to lose it or we're going to win it in the first 5 minutes. And you'll notice most games now, they just go out and they just fire wagon the whole thing, try to get it over. Most games are over by the 6-minute mark.
Now, what if you don't have a team that has scored well all season long, a team that has struggled to get goals? The Minnesota North Stars, one team that comes to mind that went most of the season and didn't have anybody at the 30-goal mark. Is it still wise to do that?
Yes, it is. I'll tell you why. If it's like in football, if the other guy has the football all the time in their overtime games, they're going to score. And if the other team, if you let Montreal have the puck and you lay back, sooner or later they're going to kill you. So you might as well go right at them. You might as well go all out right at them. Even if you don't get many goals, it's the only way you're going to win. If you lay back on the good teams, they're going to murder you.
How important is the official and your supposed knowledge of him? There are some who might call a penalty and others have a reputation for letting things go, especially in overtime. Do you stress that?
Well, no, you can't. If you start worrying about the referee, you're in trouble, you know, and sometimes they'll call things, and we had a few called on us that one series that I was a little upset on, but you can't worry about it. If you go in the dressing room and say, now look, watch it, you're going to get them all off. So you just forget the referee if he's not there, if you ever can.
Thank you very much to Don Cherry, and that is our overtime version of Coach's Corner.
Gary Dornhofer, here we go again. Overtime once more. Quebec Nordiques, a real exciting third period, thanks to the work of Hunter and Richard.
Well, Hunter, we can't say enough about him, Bob. He has really impressed us, and I think his enthusiasm certainly showed out there, and very instrumental in taking charge and getting into that opening. But I still think St. Croix should have had his shot. You know, he was at the top of the circle, but it just handcuffed one in the net, and it seemed that was the spark that they needed. But on that tying goal, you have to pick up that trailer. You know, Richard came in from the blue line. Holmgren was behind him, not able to catch up. He may have even slowed down slightly, just coasting. Now, it looks like Richard had about 2 good strides on him. But then when St. Croix was off balance, Richard had that hole open net. But 2 breaks, and the Nordiques are there.
Exciting hockey team. Here's another look.
But there's the original save, and St. Croix is down. Wilson just skated by the puck. And then it came to Richard, and when you're a 50-goal scorer, baby, you don't have any trouble putting those in the net.
Okay, so watch out, especially if Quebec gets this goal.
Oh, I think it's going to be a great finish, and there isn't anything more exciting than overtime, Bob.
Okay, 3-3, regulation time, overtime coming up. Here again is David.
With me is Jacques Plante, who works with the Philadelphia goaltenders. I must say I have a little trouble talking to Jacques sitting in Quebec City and talking about Rick St. Croix, but that is the way he prefers it pronounced. Jacques, might he have been a little stale? I mean, he only had 1 shot before that one by Hunter. And you hear it all the time that a goaltender who's getting some shots regularly is sharper than somebody who was in his position.
Yes, we were talking about that upstairs as the period progressed, and I think it was 12, 13 minutes before we got a save, and it was a long shot. There was very little play around his net where he could go out after loose pucks and everything, so we were afraid that he might cool off. And on this breakaway there for the second goal, he came up, and I didn't see exactly how the puck went in. But then in the third one, when he blocked the puck and he seemed to lose his balance. And normally St. Croix has good balance, and he doesn't give the puck away like he did there about 3 or 4 feet. He made a great save, but the puck just went to the wrong man, and it tied the game.
Jacques, early in the season, I was in Philadelphia, and of course the Flyers had Phil Meir, as well as Pete Peters and Rick St. Croix. And it was suggested that Peters or Meir had to become the #1 man. Of course, since then, Meir has departed for Colorado. And way back then, it was told to me that you thought Rick St. Croix was the best of the 3. Is that true?
Well, I thought that he looked more like a goaltender. Everything that he does when there's a scramble in front of the net, if there's a rebound, if there's a loose puck, he seems to be the one in a better position to make that save, that second save or a third save. And I thought in scrambles, too, he was able to pick up the puck and make a save also. As an all-around goaltender, he was better than Peter because he's older, about 3 years older, and that's what I thought. But Quinn had Peters in Maine, and McCammon had him in Maine too. They thought that Peter played better, but I had never seen Peters in the playoff in Maine, so they won with Peters, and they did right because he won 35 games without a loss. I mean, the team did. But this year, I think what hurt Peters was that we had 3 goaltenders, and Pete realized that Mir was having some problems, so he told Mir in the practices, take more ice time. So therefore, he was sitting out and letting Mir practice. He lost his timing, he lost his confidence, and now he's still working hard to get it back.
Okay, is Rick going to be in the dressing room now dejected? Obviously, he feels badly that the game is still going. How easily is it done to get it out of his mind? I mean, when you're in this position, obviously.
He didn't play bad.
No, I'm not suggesting he did.
You come in overtime, and it's a big pressure period, like, because the first goal, that's the end of the game. And actually, once the whistle goes and you're in the game, you forget all about that. But you just hope that you don't have to go back in there. And now they're in there, and it's the first time for him to have a look at it. So we'll have to wait and see.
Have you ever seen a goal so quickly in a game like the first one of this game, the way it went in?
Well, was it a record?
Well, almost.
There was one scored.
One scored at 6 seconds.
Well,
yeah.
I can't believe it. You know, and that's the way it went. And normally we tell the goaltenders, if the puck comes back from behind the goal line, try and put your stick behind the goal line when you stop it. So if it hits wrong and then it doesn't bounce between your legs and to go in. That's one time where the game is starting, everybody's relaxed, and the puck is just shot up the ice, and Bouchard just tried to casually throw it behind the net. But see, you have to realize also that Bouchard has a curved stick. And so when he went to backhand the puck, it was on the wrong end of the curve. So it just steered back in the net rather than go back behind the net.
Okay, if you're a goaltender going into overtime, do you like to get a shot pretty early, one that's not going to beat you, but get the feel of the puck? It gets back to my original question. If either goaltender sits there for 7, 8, 10 minutes if it's over, there's no fire, does he start to get a little bit disturbed about what might come his way?
You don't think about the shots. You don't want any.
None at all.
If it stays at the other end, it's all right. Yes.
Okay, Jacques Plante, thank you. Always a pleasure to talk to you. And now for overtime, the first in this series, here's Bob and Gary.
Thank you, David. And Jacques Plante. This is Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer, and we're high above the ice surface here in the Coliseum in Quebec City. We're awaiting the return of the two teams, the Philadelphia Flyers and the Quebec Nordiques. It looked like Philadelphia were in complete control. They got 3 goals in the first period to Quebec's 1. Murray, Wilson, and Gorans for Philadelphia, Fatorik for Quebec. No scoring in the second period. And then, at 15:35, less than 5 minutes remaining, Gary Hunter exploded with Tardif and Hoganson getting an assist. A lucky break, okay. St. Croix handled the puck, couldn't quite hang on to it, and went in. But that evens it up. The first goal of the game, we recall, a bit of a lucky one that hit Dan Bouchard off the backboards into the net at 7 seconds. And then Richard tied it at 17:08. 2:52 remaining from Hunter and Lacroix. 3-3, overtime coming up. Heck of a hockey game. Nothing like it. You can't beat this stuff.
Absolutely, and the worst thing that either team could do right now is sit back and wait for a break. You have to create your own breaks. That doesn't mean going crazy out there and allowing yourself to be caught, but you have to force and turn the puck over and get some good scoring chances.
There's the scoring as we just passed it along. Murray, Wilson, and Gorans for Philadelphia, Fatorik for Quebec, all in the first period. No scoring in the second, and then Hunter at 15:35. Richard at 17:01, the official time. 17:01. Philadelphia, Quebec, 3-3. Shots at this point, awaiting overtime. Philadelphia 22 and Quebec 21. Gary, I was about to say to you, I'll say it now. We've heard it time and time again in the dressing room. What's going on? Go out, fellows, get a quick one. What?
Well, it's very quiet, especially in the Flyers dressing room. You still see that scoreboard. But I'm sure in the Nordiques dressing room, it's a lot of confidence, enthusiasm, and sometimes it's very important for the coach just to quiet things down, concentrate on what you have to do out there. But every shift now, it's complete concentration. You go out there, try to get that good shot. Every shot on net is important.
Line matchups in overtime. Any more importance other than regulation time?
Well, I think you still have to be concerned with the likes of a Clark and a Barber out there, and his 2 Stastnys. You still pay attention to those guys, but, you know, in overtime, you know, you can't wait for the second goal. It's the first one, and it's all over. For the Nordiques, a loss, and they're out of it. So they've got to go to the offense and really take it to the Flyers.
You've played at overtime games. Is it a type of nervousness on an individual more so than at any other time? Are you prepared to accept full responsibility and play that way?
Well, it's a nervous feeling in the dressing room, but once the puck is dropped, you forget about that. But it's up to the player. When he's sitting on the bench, he's concentrating on line changes. If he's next to go, he watches his man and his man only. As soon as he comes to the bench, he jumps on. You don't want to overstay your shift so that you're tired out there and you can't come back and do a back-checking job. 30, 40-second shifts, get off. Make the changes properly, but it's those little things that can beat you or the little things that can win it for you.
The goaltenders, they have an important role. Not only stopping pucks, but hollering at the defensemen, hollering at the wingers, passing along messages, clearing who's trailing, who's checking, who's not checking.
Well, you're right, Bob, and, you know, giveaways. Don't be surprised if a giveaway causes a goal, but I don't think you can get fancy in your own zone now with sudden death overtime. When in doubt, just dump it out. It's simple as that. You don't want to try any of those rink-wide passes where it can be intercepted, but something that's very important, when you're in the offensive zone, if you don't have a man to give it to, hang on to it. The worst thing they could do is there's a face-off, or the puck is frozen against the boards and there's a face-off.
Listen to the music. I want you to grab a little bit of this, folks. No wonder this team gets up here in Quebec City. Is that something?
Well, the crowd certainly gave the Nordiques a standing ovation, rightfully so, when they stepped on the ice. And here we go. This is what it's all about. You don't think about mistakes, even though they will happen. But it takes complete concentration by every individual. Bob?
All right, we're in overtime now, ladies and gentlemen. The score tied at 3. And Hunter comes to center against Linsman of Philadelphia. Richard missed the pass on the right side. Tardif on the other wing for Quebec, and here come the Flyers. Holmgren, and a shot just wide. Knocked down by Murray. Murray slides it over the other way. Kropp knocked it in to the corner, high on the glass. Marois goes back to the net. He lost it. A scramble in front. And that was a close call. Holmgren right in on top of Richard. Richard now coming down for Quebec, centering it to Hunter. Hunter gets another chance. Scored! He scored! We got a fifth game. Rick St. Croix. And the jubilation of Michel Bergeron. And the sad look on Pat Quinn. Bergeron leading these Quebec Nordiques into a fifth game in the Spectrum in Philadelphia.
How often have we seen that where a goal is usually scored in the first shift? Bergeron, oh, is he excited. But Paul Holmgren had a chance with Bouchard down, couldn't flip it over top of him. He would have given Flyers the lead. All of a sudden, the Nordiques come down the zone, and Dale Hunter, the hero. One shot.
One goal. And that's all she wrote. 4-3. Quebec, look at it.
Now, this happened just after Paul Holmgren got the chance to score, but look at the second effort of Jacques Richard. He wards off a check. It'll come to Hunter. Now he fumbles with a puck. The Flyer skates right by him. I think that was Ken Linsman. If he would have stopped and stayed with Hunter, there's no way that Hunter would have been able to shoot it. Watch Linsman. Center your screen. He skates right by Hunter. No way. The shot right in the corner.
Woo! What a night here in the Coliseum. We can't see enough of this one.
But they battled the Nordiques. Give them credit. They were outchecked and outplayed through most of the game in the last 5 minutes of the third period. Hunter, Richard, and Hunter. And we've got game number 5.
That'll be on Tuesday night in the Spectrum in Philadelphia. And they're just announcing the top stars in the game. Dale Hunter, naturally,
Notice all the yellow dots on the ice. We got eggs all over the ice. But that's what hard work. Let that be a lesson to hockey players all over the country, you young fellas. Dedication, hard work, and you're rewarded.
They like to live here in Quebec City. They like to be happy, and let me tell you, they are happy tonight. Down 3-1, coming back to tie. When it looked like it was over, Michel Bergeron gives the big salute as he comes across the ice here below us. It looked like it was over for Quebec. Hunter ignited them with a goal at 15:35 of the third, and then Richard, miraculously, following a play by Hunter and Lacroix, tied it at 17:08, and here in overtime at 37 seconds of overtime, bingo.
Well, we've seen it happen so many times in that first shift, but now I believe they're ready with Dave Hunt.
Hero not only in overtime, but also in the third period that forced the overtime, Quebec Nordiques rookie Dale Hunter. I want to talk to you about the winning goal first, and then what went through your mind so late in the game, down 2 goals. The puck seemed to be sitting on edge for you, and I think the hesitation might have almost helped you. You wanted to sit it down. I don't think you ever did.
No, it was bouncing up and down, so I was just, I was waiting for it to sit down, but it would be too late, so I just banged at it and happened to go in.
And it was a bit of a knuckleball when you got
it
it
was
away.
twirling.
That probably helped in the end. Dale, what do you think when you've only had one shot? You need 2 goals, and I mean, it must be awfully frustrating that you can't forget what you have to do.
Yeah, they played a defensive style, and they're always backing up, and we were trying to forecheck, but they have big defense, and we got a few breaks through center ice, and that helped us, and that's got us a couple goals.
Running battle with Mr. Holmgren most of the night?
Yeah, he plays aggressive, and I try to play aggressive too.
Well, you both do a good job of it. What about Tuesday night now? Going into Philadelphia, you did not win either game there, of course, in this series, but I think you had a pretty good game in there in the regular season, didn't you?
Yeah, we beat them once there, and we got a little confidence back now that we can beat them. It don't matter the final game. It doesn't matter if you're in their rink or our rink. Is going to be right down to who works the hardest.
Tell us something about, I don't want to make you a doctor, but Goulet and Cloutier out of the lineup tonight. What is the prognosis for?
I think one of them may be back, for sure.
You're not at liberty to say which
no.
one? It's very
I don't know for sure,
Very secretive here. Is this a thrill that can be topped by anything you've had in your hockey
so far,
career?
yeah. This has to be the best.
Well, Dale, there's a lot of fans who are still cheering the sound of your name out there, and we're going to look forward to seeing you on Tuesday night in Philadelphia. Congratulations on a great effort.
Okay, thank you.
Dale Hunter of the Quebec Nordiques. The final score, once again, in overtime, Quebec 4 and Philadelphia 3.
Isn't it about time to go for gold? And
depends. What time is it?
I don't know.
It's time.
4,
106, 107, 108.
You know, I've spent $3,000 for this body.
Stuff to get your money's worth these days, isn't it?
Smooth. The point of this exercise? When it's a good, smooth golden, go for it.
For more than 40 years, Ford has been advancing its automotive technology, achieving victories at Grand Prix and rally events. And today, when North Americans demand fuel-efficient cars that are also fun to drive, the incredible world of Ford is meeting that need with 2 entirely new fuel-efficient sport coupes featuring front-wheel drive and 4-wheel independent suspension, the Ford EXP and the Mercury LN7. Twice as much fun.
Ford got the same thrill.
Something fantastic has been happening up here where we are looking down at the ice surface here at the Coliseum in Quebec City. Dale Hunter, who was over in a studio below us being interviewed, as you saw. The crowd stood here for about 5-6 minutes on their feet, clapping, waiting until Hunter returned to go across the ice to the Quebec dressing room, and then I've never heard an ovation as resounding as that one. Have you?
That was fantastic. The fans, they wanted to wait till Hunter came back out and show their appreciation, and what an ovation he got. And you know, those Nordiques, they are sky high, and we could have another upset the way things have been going.
Listen, Gary Dornhofer, you've won some games for the Philadelphia Flyers in the past. You're turning out to be a bit of a jinx for them this year.
When Pat Quinn saw me come in today, he said he was ready to strangle me. This is the 5th time I've been involved in a telecast with the Flyers. I have not seen them win. They have 4 losses and 1 tie. And I know when I end up in Philadelphia on Tuesday, they may not let me in the Spectrum.
That's it, folks. We go down to Philadelphia for the Spectrum on Tuesday night for the 5th and deciding game of this series. Gary, looking forward to it. And you?
Oh, I think it's going to be fantastic. But again, a team that never quit. They didn't get that many scoring opportunities. The last 5 minutes, they just went right in there. And that final goal, the defense backed in, and Dale Hunter did the rest.
Thank you, Gary Dornhofer. I'm Bob Cole, and here's Dave Hodge.
Quebec coach Michel Bergeron sprinted in here and went like this, my kids, and I think you got to be talking above all else about the one kid that did it, Dale Hunter.
Oh, Dale Hunter is a terrific kid. He was like that all year long, and when he say, you know, I had problems tonight because they play Wilson against the Stas's line all the time, and I'll change my mind during the 3rd period. I play Dale Hunter against Wilson, and he scored a goal in assist on the Richard goal, and at the end of the game, I said, during the intermission, I said, if Wilson's on the ideal, you start in. I'll play all the 3rd period with 2 lines only, with Fetorek with the 2 assassins, and everybody was terrific tonight.
Well, this is a team that was shorthanded without Goulet and Cloutier, 2 of your big scorers, without DuPont, your most experienced defenseman. It has to be heartening to win in any way, but to do it under adversity like that must really make you feel
Yes,
good.
But, you know, all year long I said that to everybody. I got a proud team. My players are very proud. And make sure we'll be in Philly Tuesday night. And I think Bouchard maybe was going to go be his game of the life. And he'll be ready because so many players from Philly said bad thing against him because when he was in Atlanta, he has problem with Philadelphia, but he'll be ready for this game. And, you know, Goulet and Cloutier maybe going to make a comeback, and we never know.
Yeah, Michel, there must be an element of pride, a strong element of pride in the fact that the province of Quebec is now with the Nordiques. There are no more Montreal Canadiens in these playoffs, and in fact, all of Eastern Canada has the Nordiques to cheer for.
Yeah, it's really bad for Montreal, but you know, I'm talking about my team. I'm really proud about my players. We've got a young team. We're so young defensively with 20 years old on defense, and you know, like Stastny, like Hunter, the Goulet, the kids are 20 years old, and you know, we finished 19 last year, 11 this year. It's very great for you, and now we're fans here. You saw the game, they're behind us all the time, and it's really great.
I think you would enjoy watching yourself the minute our camera saw you after the Dale Hunter goal went in. You remember what you were thinking? Well,
yes,
there
sir.
you are.
Yes, sir. Oh, I was real happy for that. If Peter Stastny was not with us, I think he would be after Peter Stastny.
Well, of course, we have to sit here and say that Hunter has not received the exposure for other reasons too, but he's a guy who has a brother playing in Edmonton, and he must have been very happy yesterday for his brother.
Yeah, for
in
sure.
addition to himself. Now they could both be in the quarterfinals.
Yes, for sure, and you know they work here like that. They got their place in the National Hockey League, and I'm happy for him because he has trouble at the beginning of the season, but he works really hard now, and he's playing short ends on power play sometimes, and it's really a great kid.
You going to win Tuesday?
For sure.
That's the word from the winning coach tonight in game number 4, Michel Bergeron. Game number 5, the deciding game. It might be the only one that goes 5 games. We have not received a final score out of Pittsburgh as yet. Game 5 in this series, the Quebec Nordiques and the Philadelphia Flyers will be 8 o'clock Eastern Time on Tuesday night. So let us tell you again that this game was 3-1 in favor of the Flyers at the end of 1 and at the end of 2, and it looked like it would be that way at the end of 3. But then, with less than 5 minutes to go, Dale Hunter, the object of Michel Bergeron's affection and the entire city of Quebec, scored to get the Nordiques back into it, then busted the defense and did much of the work for Jacques Richard's tying goal with less than 3 minutes to go. And then early in overtime, with all the excitement, I have not heard the official time of the winning goal by Dale Hunter, but he was right in the slot. He had lots of time to wait, and you heard him say that he wanted to wait until the puck sat down on the ice. It never did, and he knew he had to get rid of it. And it was a bit of a floater. St. Croix could not have been expecting a shot at quite that speed, and the ball just kind of knuckleballed. The puck knuckleballed in behind him. We're going to be in Philadelphia Tuesday. We hope you will be watching us. Good night. Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. Canadian Tire Dealers with 326 stores to serve you across Canada. And by the Ford Motor Company of Canada, on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. This program is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the entertainment and enjoyment of the viewing audience. Reproduction by any means, in whole or in part, without the expressed written permission of Hockey Night in Canada, is prohibited.
This is CBC.
Hi, I'm A.J.